All right, now that we understand a little bit about how enzymes catalyze the reactions of metabolism, including coupling the higher energy or favorable reactions with unfavorable reactions, now let's actually look at the changes that constitute metabolism in a cell. What are the reactions that make a cell move forward, a cell live? So this learning objective is about the process of cellular respiration. Respiration means breathing, but it means the changes of energy metabolisms. Cellular energy being changed. The product of cellular respiration is ATP. Okay, we want to, in addition to understanding what cellular respiration is, we want to find out where it occurs and what it is what changes, what are the things that change. So cellular respiration is how cells avoid equilibrium, how they make ATP so that they can run their unfavorable processes. We said that we were avoiding the equilibrium of this reaction, glucose being oxidized to carbon dioxide and water, and that releases energy. And we can see that that energy has been harvested in the form of ATP. So if breaking ATP down liberates energy, making ATP must take energy. But here we made ATP. Where did we get the energy to make the ATP? We coupled it with the oxidation of glucose. Oxidation of glucose releases energy, and we capture some of that energy as ATP. And then later we can couple the breaking down of ATP with other unfavorable things. So this is cellular respiration, taking metabolic fuels like glucose or fat, oxidizing them to make carbon dioxide and water and ATP, which is the form of energy that we can use in the cell. It's the cell's energy money. Cellular respiration happens in a whole bunch of different reactions. Instead of just running one reaction, now can you run glucose oxidation, glucose combustion as one reaction? Yes, you can. For instance, you can light paper on fire, and that will create carbon dioxide and water. It will use up oxygen from the atmosphere, and it will burn up the glucose, turning it into carbon dioxide and water. That releases energy, but it releases it in one fell swoop. In order to more efficiently harvest the energy from oxidation of glucose, we can break glucose oxidation up into many steps. And those are the reactions of cellular respiration. Going from glucose to glucose and oxygen to carbon dioxide and water. So these are the inputs. Glucose and oxygen are the inputs, and they're changed to carbon dioxide and water. And we use about 30 independent molecular reaction or biochemical reactions going from glucose all the way to carbon dioxide and water, glucose and oxygen. Those reactions are arranged in pathways of reactions, where one reaction leads to another. One pathway is called glycolysis. That takes glucose to pyruvate or pyruvic acid. Another pathway is called pyruvate oxidation. That takes pyruvate to acetyl-CoA. Another pathway is the citric acid cycle. That takes acetyl-CoA all the way to carbon dioxide and creates these high energy electron carriers that go into the last pathway called the electron transport chain that then incorporates oxygen and makes water. And all of these pathways harvest energy along the way to get a total of about 3 dozen ATPs. 3 dozen molecules of ATP are made from each glucose molecule that we put through the whole process. Many of these processes take part in a part of the cell called the mitochondrion. The mitochondrion is an organelle in the cell that you might remember from the section on cells, or that if you haven't gotten to that section yet, that you hopefully will remember as the powerhouse of the cell. It's called the powerhouse of the cell because it's about energy. It's about getting the ATP that the cell needs to do all of its unfavorable reactions. Where does it get the ATP? It has to get that energy from somewhere. It gets it from oxidizing glucose. Okay? Now, where does the glucose come from? And for that matter, where does the oxygen come from that feed into this process? Well, that's where we're going with the next learning objective.